Thank you for tuning in to the Kawartha Spice channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to cook a delicious stir-fry, vegetable stir-fry with tofu using our tofu dry rub. The dish brings out the flavor of the tofu and the vegetable in a unique way, with subtle hints of garlic and onion, as well as oregano and fennel. Enjoy.
So make sure you start out by washing your vegetables and then chop onions, celery, carrots, as well as cabbage and broccoli. I added snow peas as well as some Thai chilies and then the tofu. The tofu has been frozen and thawed 2 times. And then I wrap the tofu in a dish towel, clean dish towel, and press on it really hard, something like a frying pan or heavy book. And if you can put some weight on there and let it sit for a while, that's the best way to do it. I was kind of rushing here. So when I unwrap it, you can see there's tons of water in the tea towel, but there's still a fair bit of water in the tofu. So I just grab some paper towel and kind of wring it out by hand, basically. And so once you get all the bulk of that water out, the tofu is ready for crumbling. And you can see it's really just falling apart in your hands. So the trick here is to freeze the tofu and then thaw it, and then freeze it again.
The great thing about the tofu after it's frozen and thawed is this amazing spongy texture. And it's unlike any other tofu texture you've ever had. And actually it smells quite delicious too, if you're like me and you like the smell of tofu. All right. Once you've broken up your tofu into about the size bites that you want to eat. I like mine chunky. You can make it smaller. Although sometimes it's nice to leave it big because as you're frying it up, it crumbles a lot more. So don't worry, even if the pieces are a little big, they'll get smaller. So now what we do is we add some of our tofu dry rub, Kawartha Spice tofu dry rub, and some cornstarch. All right. So you take this, sprinkle it onto the tofu, and if you're like me, you might want to mix it up. Make sure you get all the greens mixed in. So I think 2 heaping teaspoons is where I'm going to start today. And if that looks like it's enough, then that's what I'll go with. You can shake it up. It kind of starts to look a little bit like breadcrumbs when you do this. It smells delicious. And then I just sprinkle the cornstarch on and do a nice fine coat. And then I toss, and I do it a second, maybe a third time until I feel that the tofu is coated in cornstarch. You definitely want well coated to give you that breaded sort of texture that you're looking for. A little sticky, a little. All right, now we're ready to stir fry. So for the tofu, I'm going to use about a tablespoon of roasted garlic oil and another tablespoon of sesame oil. I love the way the flavors go together when I'm stir frying. It smells so delicious. Sesame, you can hear it cracking a bit. Once you hear it sizzling, it's time to add the tofu. All right, and then start giving it a bit of a stir. And so once your tofu is browned all around, you transfer it to a separate bowl and stir fry the vegetables. And then again, I'm just going to use a little more sesame and a little more of the garlic oil that I enjoy the flavor of so much. Other ideas here are to try nut oils, cashew oil, almond oil. All give the a really lovely flavor in a stir fry. I like to put in a little bit of soy sauce, keep it really simple. Just to put in a little bit of salt and liquid, which really brings up the sizzle. And then once the vegetables start to come down in size, because they're losing their water content, that's when I would put a little bit of a lid on top to give them a little bit of a steam. Now my lid isn't very big, but you can even just hold a smaller lid over top of your wok the way I've done here. It still works. Sometimes you can just drop it right down. It really doesn't make a difference. Cabbage is starting to soften. You start to smell the onion and the celery. And the lid is actually starting to cover all the vegetables. And you're basically just waiting for the vegetables to get soft. Not too soft. You don't want to overcook them, but you also don't want to have crunchy carrots in your stir fry. I mean, some people like that, but I like mine to be just cooked. Now, if you like your stir fry to be thick, a thicker sauce, you can add a little bit of cornstarch to your soy sauce or whatever stir fry sauce you're using. You just take a bit of cornstarch, cold water, mix it up, and then pour it in. I think I'll do that in a minute to get this sauce just a little bit more thickened. And you can really see now that the cabbage is softened. There's actually liquid in there coming from the vegetables and from the soy sauce. I think I'm going to put my lid on this one more time, and while that's doing what it does, I'll quickly make up a little bit of a thickening sauce. So I put a couple of spoonfuls of cornstarch. I'm going to add a little bit of water, just stir it up until it's fully mixed. You can put your tofu back in. I turned down the heat, actually turned it right off. We're just going to give everything one last stir, and your stir fry is ready.
And there it is. You're done. Put some rice down on the plate, put your stir fry next to it, and enjoy.
Put a little pepper on top. Please remember to subscribe and like this video and comment. And remember to get notifications because we're going to post a new video every Thursday. You're not going to want to miss any of them.